Good morning. It's Monday, June 1st. Here's what we're working on.
I'm Simone Gavras reporting live from Hamilton West Mountain. Crews remain on scene after a fire broke out in a townhouse complex overnight. I'll have more details coming up.
A road closure in Stony Creek has been extended after a rock slide last month.
And as time ticks down, that'll do it. Kitchener claims the crown as the kings of junior hockey.
And the Kitchener Rangers capture the Memorial Cup for the first time since 2003. Good Monday morning, and look who's back.
Yes, we are so happy you're back, Brian.
Who, me? Oh,
Yes.
thank you. Yes.
And so many people asking me, when's Brian coming back?
Well, we made it back.
Yes.
Finally, after a couple of weeks, we made it back. And the only reason I'm back, of course, is because I get to say it's the 1st of the month.
Amazing.
Okay, my job is done. I get to go home. Bye. Gee, I guess I should stick around because it's going to be a gorgeous day. Another beautiful day. Yesterday was lovely. We had lovely sunshine and 23 degrees. Today we're going to hit 21, still beautiful, maybe a little bit on the cool side as far as seasonals are concerned. But again, sunshine today, high UV index. Be careful in that sunshine. And we'll have more sun tomorrow. We'll have more sun on Wednesday. We'll have more sun on Thursday. It just continues. So enjoy it. We're sitting at 11 degrees right now, so 21 for the day. As far as traffic is concerned, you are seeing a slowdown here. That's the 403 at Waterdown Road area, our exclusive camera, and the reason for that is because you're heading right into the sun. The sun is already up. It's been up for about 20 minutes already, so it's just at that spot where it's hitting you right in the eyes, and it's slowing things down a little bit there. We'll check some MTO traffic cameras, see if we can spot anything. Nothing going on at Centennial Parkway, so that's okay. Top of the Skyway Bridge getting slow already, heading down toward North Shore Boulevard as volume starts to build. Bronte Road looks good. We have no collisions, just some slow spots already here this morning. So the forecast, all the details, and of course a traffic check coming up. Right now, the news.
Thank you, Brian. Crews remain on the scene this morning after a fire broke out in a townhouse complex on the West Mountain overnight. Simone Gavras joins us live from the scene with more. Good morning, Simone.
Good morning, Rick. Police say that this fire call came in around 11:30 last night here on Caroga Street. This isn't too far from Garth Street and the Link. Now you can see here behind me where the damage is located closer to the roof of this one townhome. It's unclear which of the townhomes that this fire did start in, but police tell me that it did affect up to 4 of them. And just from when I drove past here, a lot of the doors remain open, likely as many people were trying to evacuate the homes. There is still police tape that's up around the perimeter, closer to the backyard of this area. So that's just likely holding the scene in the meantime while they are waiting for the fire marshal to arrive. But I know that there is still a fire truck on scene, and there's also 1 police officer that remains here in front of this townhome. Now, thankfully, no one was hurt. We're not going to hear from the fire department's media team until a little bit later, but the Hamilton Fire Incident page shows that this initially came in as a structure fire and was quickly upgraded to a multiple alarm fire, and that brought in units from across the city. The police staff sergeant told me over the phone that police are holding the scene until the fire marshal arrives later this morning. So again, we are going to wait to hear from the Hamilton Fire Department to get more information about the cost of damages, because this did affect a number of homes here, as well as what the possible cause might have been. But this is a quite residential area. There's a lot of homes here. It is still very early, but I'll be talking to people in the area to see if they're able to share anything that they saw from last night. Annette, back over to you.
Okay, thanks very much, Simone. After a rock slide last month, DeWitt Road in Stony Creek is expected to be closed through much of the summer. The Hamilton City Councillor for the area, Jeff Beattie, shared an update over the weekend. In it, the city says slope stabilization work is going to take longer than expected because of a loose limestone layer of the escarpment. Reduced access up on Ridge Road has reopened, but additional closures there may be necessary from time to time. Pedestrians and cyclists are asked to avoid the construction site while work is ongoing.
Halton police are asking more witnesses to come forward after a cyclist was seriously injured. A 43-year-old man is in hospital after a crash involving his bike and a car. Happened just before 7 Friday night at Spears Road near St. Augustine Drive in Oakville between Dorval Drive and Kerr Street. Because of the severity of his injuries, Halton's Collision Reconstruction Unit is investigating.
U.S. and Iran exchanged missile and drone strikes over the weekend. U.S. Central Command says it launched self-defense strikes in response to, quote, aggressive Iranian actions, which it said included a U.S. drone being shot down over international waters. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard claims it targeted an air base used by U.S. forces for an attack on southern Iran. Talks on a deal to end the war in Iran failed to advance over the weekend, with U.S. media reporting that President Donald Trump had requested changes to its terms.
France has asked for an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council after Israeli forces captured a medieval castle in Lebanon. The move is the deepest incursion into Lebanon by Israeli forces in 26 years. The castle is on a ridge that overlooks North Israel and southern Lebanon. France's president says, quote, nothing justifies the major escalation underway in South Lebanon. Israel says it is targeting Hezbollah in Lebanon, which it says has launched thousands of missiles and drones into northern Israel.
5 patients in eastern Congo have recovered from a rare strain of Ebola. The head of the World Health Organization made the announcement during the opening of a new treatment center. 4 people were discharged yesterday and another on Friday. These are the first documented recoveries during the current outbreak. Teams are still working on vaccines and treatments. The group Doctors Without Borders says the virus continues to spread, though faster than the response. Despite new aid arrivals, it is calling for more testing, faster deployment of aid workers, and sustained access to medical supplies. Meantime, the Netherlands' main airline, KLM, has canceled flights to and from an airport near the Ugandan capital. It's because of restrictions linked to the Ebola outbreak in Central Africa. KLM says it can no longer operate planned routes because of travel and entry measures that some countries have introduced for people who recently traveled through the airport, including its crew. The family of Claude Lemieux hope his death will lead to better protection for other athletes. Lemieux died of suicide last week, days after he was part of a ceremony for the Montreal Canadiens before a playoff game. He won 4 Stanley Cups in 21 seasons in the NHL. Lemieux's brain is being donated to Boston University's CTE Center to research the effects of repetitive brain injuries. Lemieux's family says they've given the center permission to share any findings with his name. In a statement, the family says they hope his life can, quote, contribute to greater understanding and more honest conversations. For 120 years, Fort Erie Racetrack has been a fixture of Niagara's tourism industry and the economy there. But officials warn the future of horse racing in Ontario is in jeopardy if a new long-term funding agreement isn't reached soon. Track management says talks involving Ontario Racing and the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Corporation have moved forward. The deal still needs approval from Woodbine Entertainment. Fort Erie Racetrack is currently operating under last year's business model, with some staff taking pay cuts to help keep things running. Officials say without new funding, growing financial pressures could threaten the industry's future.
There's no immediate risk of job loss because we've got the funding that we need to continue operating the track. But because of what's happened with inflation, you know, hay is costing more, gas is costing more, everything is costing more for our horsemen to operate.
Rural Ontario has 11 tracks. They're standard bred. They have to get funding as well, so they stay open. So it's not just Fort Erie that's in jeopardy, it's the entire racing industry.
Niagara Falls MPP Wayne Gates says a proposed $35 million funding deal remains stalled as Woodbine has yet to sign on. Still, he says talks continue and he's hopeful an agreement can be reached within a few weeks.
The Memorial Cup was up for grabs in Kelowna, BC, where Kitchener and Everett met for junior hockey supremacy. The two teams opened the game by trading goals in the first period before Dylan Edwards gave the Rangers a 2-1 lead with under 7 minutes to play in the opening frame. Jack Pridham and Sam O'Reilly broke the game open with back-to-back goals in a 37-second span within the first 63 seconds of the third period, and Kitchener was off to the races. It was Pridham's 5th goal of the tournament and O'Reilly's 3rd of the Memorial Cup, and the quick strikes gave the Rangers a commanding 5-1 lead. For the first time since 2003, the Kitchener Rangers win the Memorial Cup, beating Everett 6-2. Kitchener won all 4 games in Kelowna and also beat Everett 6-2 in round-robin play. The Ontario Hockey League champions also won it all in 1982 and 1963 and claimed their first championship in 1952 as the Guelph Bitmoles. Bronze medal game at this year's World Hockey Championship had one of the wildest endings you'll ever see. Trailing Norway 2-0, Team Canada mounted a crazy comeback by scoring 2 goals in the final 76 seconds. Robert Thomas pulled Canada within 1, and then with time ticking down, the St. Louis Blues forward somehow, someway batted home the tying goal. The game went to overtime, and in the extra period, Noah Steen beat Jet Greaves on a 2-on-1 to give Norway a 3-2 win and their first ever medal at the Worlds.
On to Hellenius. Gets a step on Jaeger and shoots, scores! Costa Hellenius, golden goal, and the Finns have won the World Championship.
Only 1 goal was scored in yesterday's gold medal game. Konsta Hellenius buried the winner in overtime to give Finland a 1-0 win over host Switzerland and its first gold since 2022. The Swiss, on the other hand, have now lost 5 straight gold medal games since 2013, and Nino Niederreiter has been on all 5 of those silver medal teams. Days before they open the CFL's regular season, the Hamilton Tiger Cats have made their final training camp cuts. The Ticats wrapped up their camp at McMaster University this weekend by releasing 23 players while adding 13 to the practice roster. Highlighting the list of players who've been released is American receiver Jerron Newton, who scored 3 touchdowns in Hamilton's 20-14 preseason win against the Argos on Friday night. Defensive backs Amari Walton, tight end Giovanni Robinson, and punter Nick Haberer are all among the players who landed on the PR. Cats kick off the season this Thursday night when they host Montreal at Hamilton Stadium. Forge FC hosted Cavalry at Hamilton Stadium for some afternoon footy. In the 70th minute, Tristan Borges sends his corner kick into the box. Daniel Nimick heads it to Antoine Batiste, who heads it home for the only goal of the game as Forge wins 1-0. The victory gives Forge a 2-point lead to top the CPL standings. A bizarre scene at Camden Yards for the Blue Jays-Orioles series finale. Toronto right fielder Jesus Sanchez raises his glove, and a fan throws a baseball his way, but it hits Sanchez in the wrist, and he's forced to leave the game. Blue Jays went on to lose to the Baltimore Orioles 9-5.
Okay, 6:12 on this first morning of, it's June already. Wow. Okay, let's get into the day here. We do have the sunshine already, and it's going to be in your eyes this morning. Here's the 403 around Waterdown Road. So you're coming out of Hamilton into the sun, heading toward Burlington. It's not too bad at the moment. It's not quite as congested as it was a little earlier. Let's check some MTO traffic cameras. We'll go into St. Catharines, the Garden City Skyway, East Camera doing fine. Grays Road, Stony Creek, same thing. A little busy here north of 2, so that's coming off the Skyway going past North Shore Boulevard. Into Burl Oak, Burlington to Oakville doing fine, and nothing here at Credit River through Mississauga. Okay, so to our temperature this morning. Now, the sun's been up for, about a half an hour now. The temperature has just come down this hour. We were 11. We're now sitting at 10. The winds are light. The humidity is comfortable. And we do have it's a partly cloudy sky to start the day today. So this is what we're looking at for today, 21 degrees. So around seasonal, lovely sunshine, high UV index. The winds will be fairly light. Nothing going to bother us for the next number of days. The skies are going to be fairly clear throughout the overnight hours as well. High pressure just dipping down from the north, and that's going to keep us in the sunshine for the next number of days. So today, 21 to 22, even 23 for Brantford, Simcoe, and Cayuga. So another lovely day as we get into June. Tonight, skies will be clear. Temperatures, well, single digits for Brantford, Simcoe, and Cayuga, Guelph and Kitchener as well, but generally 10 to 12 for the Horseshoe. And then tomorrow, 19 for Niagara Falls, but generally 21, 22, and 23. Another gorgeous day in the sunshine for tomorrow. So looks pretty good for the next couple of days. So yeah, it is the 1st of June. Out the door this morning, temperature 10, partly cloudy skies. Long range coming up. Annette Frick.
Thanks, Brian. Coming up after the break, we're going to say good morning to Emily. She'll have a preview of what's ahead in Chit Chat this morning. And in business news, Canada Post workers have voted on a new contract. We'll have more on that after the break. 6:16 on your Monday morning. Good morning, Emily. What's coming up in Chit Chat this morning?
Hi, good morning. The 14th annual Canadian Screen Awards took place last night, and a very popular show filmed right here in Hamilton won big.
It certainly did.
It certainly did. Ozzy Osbourne is being turned into a digital avatar later this summer. It's a bit creepy, but we're going to dive deep into it.
Okay.
Is it going to come with a TV remote? Please
Maybe.
tell me yes.
Maybe. Yelling at Sharon. And later on this morning, we will take a look at this weekend's box office numbers. And despite the gorgeous weather, people went out to see a specific movie.
All right, looking forward to that. Thank you, Emily. Business news this morning. The Canadian dollar is down, sitting at 72.37 cents U.S. Gold also down $69 U.S. an ounce. Oil is up $3.41 to 90.78 U.S. a barrel. In midday European trading, London, Frankfurt, and Paris are all largely flat this hour.
On the Asian markets, Tokyo and Hong Kong both posted gains today. At Friday's close, North American markets were all up, with the TSX gaining 250 points.
Results are expected today as Canada Post workers vote on a proposed 5-year contract. The deal covers about 55,000 members of the Canadian Union of Postal Workers and includes wage increases of 6.5% and 3% in the first 2 years. Union leadership is divided on whether members should accept the agreement. The vote comes as Canada Post faces ongoing financial challenges, reporting billions in operational costs and declining mail and parcel revenues.
The deadline is approaching for Canada, the United States, and Mexico to make a decision on the future of their trade agreement. The U.S. Trade Representative has suggested that the Trump administration is unlikely to rubber stamp a renewal. The U.S. has already held preliminary talks with Mexico, but has not officially launched any talks with Canada. Prime Minister Mark Carney had said last week that Canada's efforts to diversify trade ties and wean itself off the U.S. market will make it a better ally to the United States.
Canadians will find out this week how the country's jobs market fared in May. Statistics Canada will release its latest jobs report on Friday when it publishes its labour force survey for the month. The Canadian economy lost 18,000 jobs in April. The unemployment rate last month increased by 2 ticks to 6.9% as more people searched for work.
NVIDIA is about to launch a new superchip to take on rivals Intel and Advanced Micro Devices. The RTX Spark superchip will power laptops for manufacturers including Asus, Dell, HP, and Microsoft when it is released this fall. It was unveiled during NVIDIA's Taipei event today. The RTX Spark is also coming to small desktops, and it's meant for customers that are running AI applications and also for content creators and gamers. NVIDIA says the new superchip will have 128 gigabytes of memory, which is a huge amount for a laptop.
Health organizations want Ottawa to reduce nicotine use to less than 5% of Canadians by 2045. They say rising vaping rates among young people threaten the progress made in curbing tobacco use. Data from Statistics Canada shows 27% of grade 12 students reported vaping in a recent 30-day period. Advocates are calling for flavor restrictions, stronger warning labels, and a ban on online sales. Health Canada says while vaping may help some people quit smoking, it is still harmful, especially for youth.
Malaysia has started enforcing a new ban for social media accounts for children under 16. As of today, Facebook and TikTok are required to implement age verification measures or risk facing fines. Similar restrictions have already been introduced in Australia, where it was done first, also Brazil and Indonesia. Canada is considering comparable legislation. Officials in Malaysia say the goal is to protect young users from harmful content and excessive screen time. Critics have raised concerns about privacy and whether age verification systems will work.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Brian is back, and he's going to be back with a traffic update and your 7-day weather forecast. Stay with us.
Good morning, 624. Let's get you into this beautiful Monday morning here, 1st of June. Looking fine here at the Garden City Skyway. That's the west camera this time. Woodward Avenue moving toward the Skyway Bridge in the distance. No problems there. Guelph line, nothing. The 403 QEW Splitton Junction at the Ford plant is very light volume through there. And if we dip into the 403 going through Mississauga, that's the camera just east of Mississauga Road. You can see how light things are so far this morning. So no problems on the roads. Temperatures this morning quite comfortable to start the day. We're sitting at 10 degrees for Hamilton, Mississauga, 12 Grimsby, 15 into Toronto. So talk about seasonal temperatures for this time of year. 19 for the daytime high, 11 for the overnight low. Those are our Sun Times records. And yes, we are going to have the sunshine again today. It'll be beautiful. 15 for the first bell this morning at 9, 21 for after school. A little shy of what we got to yesterday. Yesterday we hit 23, but today 21 degrees. 10 tonight, 21 again tomorrow, and sunshine. Look at the sunshine continue. Wednesday, temperature comes up a little bit. We'll hit 24 Wednesday, 27 degrees on Thursday. Now, as we get into Friday, there is a slim chance of a shower, but it stays on the warm side at 27 with some sun. Fairly cloudy, it looks like Saturday. Chance of showers again for Sunday. Temperatures comfortable. 23 and 24 degrees for Saturday and Sunday. That's your forecast. And that, Rick.
Okay, thanks very much. Well, the town of Fort Erie has found a creative way to protect the habitat of an endangered toad.
Visitors of Crystal Beach may have noticed two oddly shaped sand piles at the back of the beach over the weekend. Those sand piles are habitats that have been transformed into art for all to enjoy. The town says it's a way to protect the endangered Fowler toad without removing large sand piles. The sculptures are set to remain intact all summer until nature takes care of them.
They are beautiful.
Wow. I wonder how long that took to do. I would say probably a few hours.
Yeah. I'm always interested too in the types of materials that these sandcraft sculptures use.
Like the carving materials?
Yeah.
Probably a lot more intricate than a pail and a shovel.
Yeah, exactly.
We would use back in the day on the beach. That looks fantastic. Good for those who have that creative touch while saving the Fowler toad as well. Stay with us. More to come after the break here on Morning Live. Good morning.